The other day, a friend of mine sent me an article from Loudwire, who is known for producing only top quality content, and it was titled Top 25 Metalcore Albums of All Time. And I skimmed through this list just very briefly and saw a couple albums here and there. And I don't know what the purpose in this was, because it says top 25 metalcore albums of all time, not most influential or anything like that. So I was a little confused. So I figured we would go over this list together and we would decide on whether or not these picks deserve to be in the spot that they're in, or if Loudwire could have maybe have done better. And we will discuss what I feel like would have been a better pick, at least within the same kind of realm of what that band and that album is. We're not going to go like super far-fetched in terms of, modern metalcore. This came out in 2020, so there is some dated stuff on here. There's some very old stuff on here, which you'll see it's a little confusing. And this is only going to be part one, because if I spend a minute on each one of these albums, we're going to be here for about 25 minutes. So yeah, there's going to be a part one and part two. We're going to be covering 25 through 11 today. And then in the next video, it'll be 10 through 1, which I feel like is going to take a little bit longer anyway. So yeah, anyways, let's get started. Coming in at number 25, we have Code Orange Forever, which came out in 2017. It's a pretty new record compared to the rest of this list. This is definitely Code Orange's best album. I know a lot of people like the albums that came afterwards. Not really my thing personally. Not even really like metalcore. This is like their more metalcore sounding thing. So in that sense, this is probably the only album they've released that does belong to be on this list. But does it actually deserve to be here? They have, Forever, Kill the Creator, which are fantastic songs. But then the most listened to song off of this record is Bleeding the Blur, which is like their radio play song. I don't know. I feel like this is the thing with this Loudwire list. I feel like they are trying to be obscure. They're trying to make you feel like you don't know metalcore as well as you do and try and throw something else out there. So if I was going to pick something else, I feel like they could have done better for sure. I would have picked Varial's Pain Again, which to me is just way better. And it's the same kind of realm as Code Orange. It feels the same. It has the same kind of presence. And I feel like it would be a better 25 for sure. Coming in at number 24, we have Under Oath's Defying the Great Line from 2007. This absolutely belongs on the list, 100%. If anything, I feel like it should be higher on the list. When I saw that Define the Great Line was this low, it made me very, very curious on what they could have put so much higher above it in, 23 other places. In regards to myself, A Moment Suspended in Time, Casting Such a Thin Shadow, and also Writing on the Wall. Just about every single song on this album is a banger. There's no misses. I feel like this is definitely their best record. It's my favorite record they've released, and I love all of them. It's not saying that they have a bad record. So yeah, I feel like this one should have been more in the top 10. It isn't exactly strictly all metalcore. I mean, there's some post stuff in there as well too. So maybe Loudwire decided to take that into account too. Like, this isn't just strictly metalcore, so we'll put it a little bit lower. But at the same time, I feel like this is definitely a top 10 album as far as like the best of all time. And then at number 23, we have From Autumn to Ashes, Too Bad You're Beautiful. This one was a little weird for me. It's a solid pick for sure. This is the only album from this band that I really like. They got a little weird after this. Cape Side Rock is one of the coolest songs that I feel like this band has ever written. It also came out, I think, like 2005, something like that. It's so freaking cool. But I feel like, again, they could have done better. If you want to stay in the same kind of realm of like scratching your head being like, who even is this band? If you're just a casual metalcore listener, there is Vana Curses, which is a beautiful album. To me, it is so much more unique than this one. Like I said, I feel like they're trying to be a little bit more obscure with this pick. It's a solid album, but as far as being the top 25 metalcore albums, I just don't really see it. Coming in at number 22, we have Parkway Drive, Horizons. No list would be complete without this, for sure. But 22 At number 20, this is a top 10 album. This is their best album. It's better than Deep Blue, 100%. If anything, for the production alone. They got songs like Carry On, the Siren Song, Idols, and Anchors, which are examples of like top 25 best metalcore songs written of all time, and they're all on this one album, which is very hard to do. And like, what is better than this? This is a top tenor for sure, easily, especially for a lot of people, a lot of seasoned metalcore listeners. Like, it just makes you wonder, what's going to be better than this? So let's find out. Coming in at number 21, being better than Parkway Drive Horizons, is 18 Visions Until the Ink Runs Out. The vocals on this kind of suck. The riffs and the drums are very, very mid. This is closer to like noise rock, or like it's like a noise band. Like, as far as metalcore goes, they don't even really incorporate that much metalcore into it. Like, I don't want to gatekeep and be nitpicky, but this isn't, I wouldn't put this on a metalcore top 25 list whatsoever. There's way better music out there. They could have done better on this one. In the same realm, I would do Evergreen Terrence, Burned Alive by Time. Way better songwriting, better production. Everything on this is so much better. It's like they didn't even try. Like, they just kind of threw something in here, trying to, again, be a little obscure, and this is just not it. And coming in at number 20, we have The Devil Wears Prada, Dead Throne. This one, this is weird. They could have done better, maybe. At the same time, they really couldn't have. I don't know. This is more of like, I mean, these are all based off my opinion, but this is more of a strictly me thing. I feel like with Roots Above and Branches Below, should have taken it over this one for sure. It would have been a better pick. Both are really good, but just to me, one of them stands out a lot more. But if we're going to pick out other albums, you got a lot, especially if you're going to be within this realm. We have The Ghost Inside Returners, which to me has 0 skips. This is one of the best albums written in this time. There's also, if you want to be obscure again, just a little bit, we got Currents, The Place I Feel Safest, which is fantastic. It's one of the best metalcore albums of all time. Or if you want to stay in the same kind of realm as The Devil Wears Prada, we got Fit for a King, Creation Destruction, which again would have been a superb pick. But like, within this genre and this realm of when it came out and the style of metalcore it is, you have a lot of choices, and Devil Wears Prada absolutely belongs on this list. I'm not going to argue that at all. I just would have picked a different album. Coming in at number 19, we have Normma Jean, Bless the Martyr, and Kiss the Child. This is probably the best debut album from a metalcore band. I don't think they could have done better. The only album to me that came out around the same time that I remember being like, I don't know, I was into it probably just about as much as So Sedated, So Secure by Darkest Hour, but the production, the songwriting just doesn't compare to Normma Jean. This is such a fantastic album. It is so good. And even though it is a little rough around the edges, when you listen to it today, you just realize how many other bands this album influenced. And yeah, I don't think any other Normma Jean album deserves to be here. This is it. This is a good job, Loudwire. Coming in at number 18, we have Zao, Where Blood and Fire Bring Rest. Hell yeah, this is a fantastic pick. And 18 is a solid spot for it. There's no skips on this album whatsoever. Zao is insanely underrated. A lot of people don't know who this band is, or they're a Christian metalcore band, so they just kind of get swept aside with a lot of the other cheesy Christian metalcore bands that came out around this time, and they're still around, still making really good music. But when you go back in time to this record, there's nothing else that really compares to it. This is like one of the metalcore grandfathers right here, with some of the catchiest riffs dating back to like 1996, I think is when this album came out, and it's not even their debut album. Zao, it'd be hard to pick another Zao album to fit here because they're so good and there's a lot of them. So yeah, I feel like this is it. This is another really good pick for 18. Coming in number 17, we have Between the Baron and Me, The Silent Circus. And I'm going to make a lot of people upset and say, no, hell no. They could have done better. This is the top 25 best metalcore albums. And Alaska to me is so much better. Just for Selkies and Backwards Parade alone, the songwriting, the production, the vocals, the lyrics, the song placements, the story it tells, Alaska is just miles above. Yes, I'm a simp for Alaska. It's my favorite album from this band, and I will stand on this hill and die alone if I have to in saying that the Silent Circus is not it. It does not deserve to be 17 or even on this list. Sure, it could be in the 20s somewhere, I guess. But as far as like the best albums, metalcore albums, not the most influential or any of that, just the best, I feel like the Silent Circus does not really have a place here. But if I was going to pick something other than Between the Buried and Me, I'd have a hard time, honestly. If we're going to go down that road, I like The Ocean, Aeolian a lot more than this album for sure. It's great. It sounds good. But at that point, who is The Ocean compared to Between the Buried and Me? Honestly, it's such a smaller band. This band is prestige for sure, but again, they didn't really pick the right album, at least in my mind. And I know I'm going to make a lot of people upset, probably because the Silent Circus is a fan favorite, but it just isn't it. It doesn't belong on this list. I mean, at number 16, we have Every Time I Die, Hot Damn. Again, this isn't really my favorite album, but this is a solid choice. This is a really good album. Dare I say it's hot damn. Not many songs really connect with me that much on this album, but the riffs don't get better. Not to mention Every Time I Die will just get better along with this. Their sound will just keep improving. I honestly can't really pick anything better, especially that came out around this time. Considering Low Teens won't even come out for another like 13 years, and that's the only other album I would place over this one. And just the distance in it, the distance in the years. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, yeah, you picked other albums from the same band and you put it there, but the distance between these two albums is so great to the point where I can't really compare them. So I can't pick anything else other than this. This is it. This is a solid choice. Even though I'm not really feeling it, it's not my favorite, I can't really see putting anything else in the 16 spot. At number 15, we have Hatebreed. Satisfaction is the death of desire. What? It's hard to even label this as metalcore. I consider them to be more groove metal or hardcore. Again, I don't really want to gatekeep. But if you're going to say the best metalcore albums of all time, why is this on the list? I don't get it. If you're going to pick something in this realm even, you have way better options. You have Machine Head's Burn My Eyes. Again, not metalcore, but if we're going to... The albums are almost interchangeable at this point. Or even Fear Factory's, Demanufacture, way better than this Hatebreed album. And I enjoyed this Hatebreed album, but you have better choices. I mean, Burn My Eyes came out in 94. It's 2 years before this album, and the riffs are better. The songwriting better. The song placement's better. And honestly, I kind of like Hatebreed more, but this album just is not it. Again, top 25 metalcore albums, I can't even say if they did a good job or they could do better. This just doesn't even make sense at this point. At number 14, we have Avenge Sevenfold, Waken the Fallen. Solid, super good pick. Unholy Confessions is one of the best metalcore songs. It's like one of the staple metalcore songs. It's one of the best metalcore songs for guitar players to learn. One of the first ones I learned, very easy. And it teaches you like the fundamentals of the riffs and the type of scales you're going to be using for metalcore for sure. The only album I would really consider switching with this one would probably be The Poison, Bullet for My Valentine. It's probably almost as impactful for me as an adolescent back in the day when it came out and helped shape the type of music I would be listening to in the future. But if we're going to be completely honest, Avenged Sevenfold's Waken the Fallen probably influenced The Poison more than anything. Coming in at number 13, we have SnapCase, Progression Through Unlearning. What? At number 13, you would expect to, see a really good metalcore album, not one that you probably haven't heard of. And then, not to mention that this album sucks. This is bad music right here. The drums reach a questionable amount of Saint Anger production. They sound awful. People praise the drums. I don't know why. There's not even really that great of drum work on this album, and the production on it is just awful. It's just, their whole discography is just kind of meh. Vision of Disorder's self-titled album should be right here. That is so much better. It came out a year earlier in '96. The production, the overall songwriting is just a lot better. Again, this is an album where I feel like they just threw it on here just to be a little wacky and crazy and be obscure and unique and not picking the same kind of metalcore albums. But this is just a bad pick. This album shouldn't be on a top 100 best metalcore albums, let alone 25, and reaching number 13. Coming in number 12, Killswitch Engage, End of Heartache, at number 12. In the 12th spot, not anywhere in the top 10, in the 12th spot. This should have been top 10. Killswitch Engage, it should be a crime for them not to be in top 5. You're doing, again, top metalcore albums. Why is Killswitch Engage not in the top 5, top 10, number 12? This was my very first Killswitch Engage album, and it kind of set the standard for me of what good metalcore and clean singing is. Howard Jones is forever my man crush, my hero. I love that man, and I just I think this should be higher. And that's the only reason why I'm going to mention other albums that should be in its place. Because there's other albums that are really good that haven't been mentioned. And I feel like they deserve to be on this list. And I feel like Killswitch Engage, anything from them should be a lot higher. So we're going to go with, just hear me out on this. All That Remains, The Fall of Ideals. That would be a solid 12. Some people would argue with me that it should also be in the top 10. And I would agree. But if we're going to move Killswitch Engage, I feel like that should be above it. I don't think it's as good as End of Heartache. End of Heartache, such a good album. I don't know why it's number 12. But also, another good album that I feel like would fit in this spot or should also be in the top 10, some would argue, one of my favorite metalcore albums of all time is Trivium's Ascendancy. You could even throw Shogun in here, which I actually like more than Killswitch Engage, but I agree that this album should be up higher than it. Again, it doesn't really make sense. Top metalcore albums, top 25 of all time. Killswitch Engage, number 12. And closing out this video, at number 11, part 1, top 25 metalcore albums of all time by Loudwire, we have Shy Huladu. Hearts Once Nourished with Hope and Compassion. I've heard this album vaguely one time through it, and I listened to it a few times after it came out. When it first came out, I listened to it once, and one of my friends had it. I had to kick this one off of the list, honestly. The albums I mentioned before, Fall of Ideals, Ascendancy, those should be in this spot for sure. I feel like it shouldn't be here. If I was going to put a different album here for sure, though, another band that deserves some love is Unearth. Oncoming Storm, maybe? Or even Stings of Consciousness. Literally, so many other albums would fit right here in the number 11 spot. In my next video, when I go through 10 down to 1, I can't promise it's going to get any better, honestly. So yeah, hopefully I'll have it up in a few days. That way we can finish this off, because Loudwire has no business doing this at all. This is awful. This is a painful list to go through, because they're just picking out random crap and being like, this is a good metalcore album, right? And throwing it in a top 25 metalcore albums of all time. It's not like they're favorites. This is of all time. It's not like the most influential. This is of all time. And this is where they put, don't forget they put Killswitch End of Heartache at number 12. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon, that way you don't miss out on the next one coming up. Again, like I said, hopefully a few days. And also, you don't want to miss out on New Music Friday coming out on Thursdays. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me sit here and talk about this list. Let me know if you agree with me, or disagree with me, I'm sure people are going to tell me I just need to shut up and quit talking and not care so much. But yeah, this is an interesting list. And also, yeah, let me know if you think other bands or albums should be on this list so far. I mean, there's some more popular albums coming up, but yeah, there's some stuff that I feel like they missed out on that should be in the top 25 to 11 at least, other than these just random bands and albums. So yeah, leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of those. Also, let me know what you want me to review next. We got a lot of cool albums coming out this next week. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you have me watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.